Welcome to CompSci360, the ultimate virtual summit for MS and computer science in the UK. This 2-day summit will give you a 360-degree view around everything related to MS and computer science in the UK, with subject knowledge experts and student mentors from top universities. Before we hear from the expert, we want to walk you through the CompSci community on the Nebula platform, a dedicated space for you to connect with other attendees and build lasting relationships with fellow computer science enthusiasts. Throughout this summit, you will interact with a number of subject knowledge experts, and if you wish to get a personalized one-on-one mentorship session or get your queries addressed, you can book a slot with them by visiting their Nebula profile. We believe that this session will enhance your learning experience and help you achieve your study abroad goals. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you enjoy the summit.
Hello everyone and welcome back to CompSci360, the ultimate virtual summit for MS and computer science in the UK. I am Sadhana, part of the Nebula engagement and marketing team, and I'm your host for the day. Thank you for joining us again. And this is a panel discussion, and it is an Ask Me Anything about program selection featuring an esteemed panel of enrolled students and alumni from Masters in Computer Science programs in the UK. But before we begin the panel discussion, I will quickly give you all a recap introduction of what Nebula is. So Nebula is an ecosystem. We strive to bring transparency, accessibility, and awareness around everything related to international studies and work by connecting international students, alumni, experts, and subject knowledge experts from every related field to provide you with the resources and experienced insights that you need to make informed decisions about your education and career. Now, CompSci360, which has been happening from morning, is a summit organized by Nebula specifically for students aspiring to study Masters in Computer Science programs in the UK. Our goal is to equip you with the knowledge and resources that you need to succeed in your studies and career. Now, a general instruction before I introduce the panel for you all is to make sure you're sitting in a quiet area with a stable internet connection or an undisturbed place. And if you have any questions to any of the panelists throughout the session, make sure you put it in the chat box. And at the end of the discussion, we will pick out some questions and we will try to cover everything. But depending on the time, we will pick out your questions and answer them for you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce today's panel to you all. Please welcome Siddharth Raut, an MSc in Software Engineering student at the University of Southampton, Lohavani, an MSc in Advanced Computer Science graduate from University of Leeds, and Adit Pabbi, an MSc in Computer Science graduate from the University of Edinburgh. So before we start the panel discussion, we would like to know a little more about all the panelists. So if you all can take turns and please tell us a little bit about your journey so far, it would be great.
Hi guys, I'm Siddharth Raut. I'm currently pursuing my master's in software engineering from the University of Southampton. I graduated from Pune University, PCCOE, Pimpri College of Engineering in 2020. And after that, I worked for 2 years at Persistent Systems as a Java developer. And after that, I got fed up of it, and then I came here for pursuing my master's. And so far, it's been great. Hoping to connect with you all and let's discuss some things.
Hi everyone. So I'm Lohavani. So I came to the UK in September 2021. So I've completed my master's in advanced computer science, focusing on data analytics. So I was working before coming for the master's, and I got a bit saturated in my role, and I wanted to do a change in roles and explore opportunities related to data. So I just took this course because I had a computer science background, but I still did not know what exactly was coming under data science or analytics. So I took this course. It's been a fairly good experience because I came during COVID time and most of the stuff was still a bit online when I came. But now things have improved a lot. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And it's been good so far. So I've graduated, and if you guys have any doubts or something, you can always let us know at the end of the session, like she told. We'll be happy to help you guys.
So hi, my name is Adit. I'm a graduate from the University of Edinburgh, where I did my master in science in computer science. Before that, I didn't work at all. I just came from my undergrad university. I was in VIT Vellore, and I did my computer science and engineering there as well. And basically, I came to Edinburgh to do more research based studies, to focus more on the research side. And that's pretty much it. So I recently graduated. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask after the end of the session.
Wow, this definitely is a great panel, and this panel has so much to offer. So I cannot wait to start the conversation. So I'm gonna come one by one and ask you all two questions each, and then we can have a general discussion around a couple more questions. So my first question for Adit is. How did you go about choosing the MSc in Computer Science program at the University of Edinburgh over top ranked, other programs in the UK?
So a lot of it was based on my own specific interests. Edinburgh is very well known for its AI and NLP programs, and also Edinburgh has a very nice distributed computing program as well. So I guess that was my primary interest: the research aspects of this college. What areas are they good at, and what professors do they have? So that was probably my priority after any other thing. So I basically applied to Edinburgh just because of that, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's nice. My next question to Siddharth is somewhere along the same lines. What made you decide to pursue an MSc in software engineering instead of other master's programs in computer science, like maybe data science or AI, etc.?
So, as you rightly pointed out, software engineering is kind of a specialization inside the umbrella of computer science, and I chose software engineering because I had one aim in my mind that I wanted a job here, and to get a job here, I wanted the best thing was to improve my overall profile, and improving my profile means adding more technologies to my profile. So I knew Java as I worked in Java backend developer, but I had no experience in front end. I had no experience in cloud. I had no knowledge of mobile and other things. So I thought rather than going for a traditional computer science degree where you focus a lot on theoretical aspects but very little on practical, I thought software engineering will be a good fit for industry related profiles where I actually learn about things which I will implement or use in the industry. So I chose software engineering, and yeah, I'm learning the things which I will use in my job. So I'm learning web and cloud technologies, mobile development, event B, formal verification, and sort of stuff. So that was my thought process behind choosing software engineering, that maximize the probability of getting a job, so that improve my profile. And yeah, that was it. Thank you.
That's nice. My next question to Lohavani is, can you walk us through your decision-making process for choosing, the MSc in Advanced Computer Science program at the University of Leeds? What factors did you consider while making that choice?
In the case of me, I think Siddharth wanted to focus specifically on software engineering. So I had a bit of software engineering background, and I wanted to explore others other than software engineering. So that is why I took this course. So either with respect to University of Leeds, there were two options. So either to go with an advanced MSc computer science course, or you can if you're very specific about data science, there's another course for data science and analytics. But I do not have experience related to that, so I wanted to explore a bit of everything before choosing on what I wanted to pursue my career on. And that has frankly been the best decision I've ever taken, because as part of computer science, I've had data science modules, machine learning modules, AI, and cloud was also there. So for people who we had the option to pick a few modules. Some of them were compulsory, some of them were open to be picked. So I did some of background research before choosing the program with some seniors who I connected on LinkedIn and through Facebook groups. And it was hard to get in contact because not everyone really responds when you send connection requests on LinkedIn, especially when there's no mutual connection or not even in the same country. So that was a bit hard, but somehow just got to know, like, through connections and friends, like people in the UK, and about found someone in the university who did my course and got to like know some basically alumni help. So using that, and then also like with based on what all admits I had at the time, I fixed on University of Leeds because it was a bit from the cost perspective, I found it was good for me. And in terms of the city and the course, like you have to select something that fits everything, so I went with this.
That's interesting. And I would have probably mentioned this in the end, but now that you brought it up, I mean,
Yeah.
the viewers today are probably luckier because they have Nebula. They don't have to send, random connection requests on LinkedIn or Instagram by
Yeah,
searching
yeah, that is
for
true.
or
You
mentors or
don't have
study.
the fear of getting ghosted.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of very inconvenient, or what we can say is a little awkward to probably reach out to a random stranger asking them for help or advice. And even in their perspective, we don't know how they take it. They might as well see it as another person just trying to spam them, or they'll be like, if I'm spending half an hour giving, advices or helping you out, what am I getting in return? Because obviously everybody's busy today. And I just quickly wanted to, just tell the audience that you all are lucky enough that you all have Nebula, where you can find where the platform is designed for this specific reason, that you can come here and reach out to people who have already been there and done that. We have students and alumni from different international universities. We have subject matter experts. We have trainers. We have IELTS and German trainers, and n number of people who are listed on the website for the primary purpose of giving you guidance. Some of them are at nominal cost, some of them may be a little expensive, but at the end of the day, you're getting what you want, and they are being compensated for their time. So just make a good use of it is what I wanted to convey by picking up at where Lohavani was pointing at. So I think we can go over with the next round of questions. My next question for Adit is, how did you evaluate the suitability of the MSc in Computer Science program at the University of Edinburgh for your career goals and interests specifically?
So before I even decided on like pursuing a program, I had to think about what I wanted to do. Like, should I focus on a more research intensive course and or a job intensive course? And the thing is that UK universities usually have two programs at master's level. They have a taught program and they have a research program as well. So ultimately, I decided that like if I have to, because I'll probably have to work for a year or two before going further ahead in academia, so I should probably do some program which is more of a standard teaching program like what we have in India, which we call a taught program in the UK. So then like I decided, okay, I'll do a computer science program with a taught aspect. So then I started looking at computer science programs from various colleges, and Edinburgh as a university is I guess you can say it's ranked pretty highly. It also has a pretty good research output. It has very good connections with industries like there's Amazon in Edinburgh, so they have a deep connection with Amazon, for example. And so when I applied to Edinburgh, it was primarily because of finding a job, and also because of the amount of subjects you have. Because in Edinburgh, you can basically pick and choose what subjects you want to do. And since I was doing a very general degree, I could do some AI subjects, I could do some distributed computing subjects, I could even do some blockchain. So that was like the primary purpose why I applied. And then it certainly helped me a lot, the courses, like how it helps you to apply for jobs, how you like get to learn different stacks, you get to learn different technologies, and how like you can add them in your resume, and you can look out for different roles. And so yes, so it basically increase my expertise, it increase my field scope as well. So yeah.
That's great. So my next question is for Siddharth. You might as well answer this in the perspective of a user, sort of like guiding them how they're supposed to do the same when they're choosing a program or university for them. So for themselves. And my question is, how did you assess the quality of the MSc in Software Engineering program at the University of Southampton before you applied there?
So assessing any program in general, or probably any university in general, has, I guess, two or three aspects to it. What I thought of was reading about the college and the course which you're trying to apply for. So there are a lot of sites. Reddit is probably one of the biggest sites where you can find tons of people talking about your university, your course. You can ask their questions, and you'll probably get a good reply on it, or the questions you have are already asked there, so you can probably get your information from there. Another one is called the studentroom.co.uk. So it's not probably well known in India, but there are a lot of people here which use the student room, and this has like a student level discussions. So there are a lot of heartfelt talks on the student room, so you'll probably get a sort of a on ground experience there. So reading about the course is probably one of the most important thing. Apart from that, if you want to choose a module, then probably the first thing you should do is actually read about the module. So what all subjects are they teaching in it? I mean, what's the syllabus of it, at what depth they go into the syllabus, what are the expectations from you about the course and from the module. So things like that. If I'm not comfortable with networking, then I won't choose a college which is heavily focusing on networking. So things like
Mm-hmm.
that, basically understanding about your liking and the model which they're offering. And the last thing which I'll recommend is go for the reputation of college. So obviously Edinburgh is one of the top 5 colleges in UK. Leeds is probably higher than Southampton, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing which you could look out for is there are like 3 tiers of colleges, I'll say. There's like Oxbridge, obviously, Oxford, Cambridge, and then Imperial probably. Then there comes this college, these groups of colleges called Russell Group colleges. So in Russell Group, in how in UK they have this Ivy League colleges. Similarly in the UK we have this Russell Group colleges, and it's like I know 20 odd colleges, and all of them are pretty good colleges. So even if you're getting at any one of the Russell Group colleges, it's pretty good. And if you can't get into that, then probably good for some other colleges. But reputation is probably the last thing which you should look for. If you're getting into any of the Russell Group colleges, that's very good. And focus on the reviews, the module, more than the reputation. And that's how I did it. I just missed one thing when I was coming here. I didn't focus much on the city aspect of it, the location aspect of it. Southampton
Mm-hmm.
is closer to London, but Southampton as a city is not that uh, good. I'll say it's a smaller city. I mean, there's not a lot of technical jobs here. Leeds has a huge IT industry. Edinburgh is very famous for gaming industry. So that thing, you should also consider the location of the city, or of the university which you're applying. That is my final thought on this. Yeah, thank you.
That was interesting. I think Lohavani can back Siddharth up on whether or not Leeds has, a pool as high as he's talking about, and then I can ask the next question to him.
Well, it's funny because when I'm searching for jobs, I don't find much in Leeds. I find a lot towards the south, especially near Southampton, Portsmouth, Plymouth. Well, I think it is like right now also mostly it's all remote, and people when you're looking for jobs, people either of course they would prefer someone who's living right in the same city where they want the job, but if you're open to relocate, or you have to like say like I don't mind moving, and I have family over there and it's not a problem for me to relocate, I think they should be okay with that. But I would say even more than Leeds, Manchester and London are like much bigger cities. If you go in order, bigger cities are London, Birmingham, and Manchester. Then only comes Leeds, I guess, fourth or fifth. So these places are bigger and also more expensive. So sometimes when you are coming as a student, you have to look at expenses and city wise also. So
Mm-hmm.
Southampton is very expensive. I've heard of that, but I felt that when I was like looking to go for some, trips in summer, people usually go near Southampton, that because that's all where all the beaches are. So it is a pretty
Very
like
sunny.
all of South is a bit expensive in UK. So in fact, I would say like South is even more expensive than London. I would say sometimes depends on your perspective and your way of handling and spending things. So if someone is choosing, I would ask them to look at the I mean the program. I would say more than global rankings, go with rankings specific to your subject. If you're looking for computer science, I would say shortlist which universities in UK are known the best for computer science. For example, I did not do that research very well because related to computer science, I just saw the university ranking. It was good, came within top 100, was a Russell Group university and all. But my university, in fact, I'm not saying the program is bad, but it's uh, exceptional for business school actually. Computer science is there, and they have a lot of, the thing is, my university covers everything. There is a medical school, they have tie up with NHS, and they have a small hospital inside the university. There is everything. So computer science is also good, but if you say the what is the university known for, it's known for business school. So it is like uh, you can like there's, I think, two kinds of rankings: times higher education ranking and QS rankings. So these two are like, the thing is, you don't have to look if they're too high up in these rankings. And there are some universities that do not come under Russell Group also, but they still have a fairly good ranking, like University of Lancaster, University of Exeter. And I've known a couple of friends from there, and they had a good time in their masters, and they've had no difficulty in getting jobs either. Just it doesn't like I would say the individual program was good in their respective universities. So I think that's what ultimately matters, the program and how good the university is in that area of specialization. And I guess that's pretty much it. And of course, the subjects that you need and the program type, whether it's research or taught, all of that put together. And like, if you are someone who is on a student loan and you want to cut down on cost, you'll have to look slightly at smaller cities like um, Liverpool or Leeds. Or, I mean, they're not necessarily small, but still, compared to London or Manchester, a bit smaller. If you want to cut down costs, that's what you have to do, at especially when you are a student. But I would also say, if you are in a very small place, finding part time is also a bit of a headache. So would say to go with somewhat medium, like compromise a bit on the costs, and so that everything is there, so that you don't like have much of a difficult time here. You'll be able to find your things.
I mean, yeah, like these are like super important things which are usually not talked about. People think about which college, which course, and after that, these are all the things that are gonna actually decide whether or
The
not they're
reality
necessary.
you face when you come here. So for him, he does not feel Southampton is that great. For me, I would say, because for me, I think it is like, since he is in Southampton, it's showing him opportunities outside of Southampton, and same likewise for me. So those things are really not in your hands, I would say. And most of the times people support hybrid working or remote. So even if I stay, I'm like 1.5 hours from Manchester, but let's say I get a job in Manchester and they ask me to come weekly twice, I can just travel and go. I don't have to necessarily like move there and go. So those things also people accept. So like those things are like, you don't have to like bother too much about it, like when you're taking up the course at the moment, is what I would feel. But different people have different perspectives. So
Yes, I mean, so Edinburgh is probably even more expensive than Southampton and Leeds. I think Edinburgh would only be second to London. So, but Edinburgh itself is a very beautiful city, and you also have Glasgow nearby. So, most of the tech jobs in Scotland will be in either in Edinburgh or Glasgow. So, it's very good in regards to that. And as for the college, it honestly doesn't have a very high student satisfaction rate, and almost feel like you're pretty much left on your own when you're studying. But I guess, I mean, it depends on the person. For some people, that would be nice because you're not being spoon fed. You can do what you want to. For some people, they probably want that kind of teaching as well, what you have in India. So I guess then it just becomes personal preference, what you choose to decide. But Edinburgh is also a very big university, so you get a lot of chance to network here and meet people from very different backgrounds. So if someone is interested in that, then Edinburgh can be a good option as well.
That's great. So I have a couple more questions, and the floor is open for anybody to pick these up before we move on to audience's questions. So, what advice would you give someone who is trying to decide between different master's programs in computer science in the UK? I think we spoke a lot about choosing between different cities. So, this is about choosing between different master's programs because there are a number of those available. So, what advice would you give the viewers? Anybody can go first and anybody can add to it.
Do you mean masters as in the type of masters or this or the course? Like, do you mean like how do you choose between computer science or data science or like what
Yeah, yeah.
exactly?
Various master's programs in the same field of computer science, you know.
Okay, so that broadly I can answer it, and maybe Adit and Siddharth can add on more. So I would say first focus is on what you want. If you already know what you want, it's good to go for a specialization, a course that's focused on AI, or it's like just go for masters in AI or data science. If you
Mhm,
know how that is, and you are confident that you want to be searching for jobs only related to those. But if you're not specific and you do not know what to focus on at the moment and you want to explore it, then choosing a like a generalized course like just computer science or software engineering would be slightly better.
mhm, mhm,
And also, if you take computer science, you're not restricted to choose between AI or data. You can apply for everything as long as you meet the eligibility criteria. But with the masters in AI, I don't know if you can try for being a software engineer. But you probably can, like if you've got some relevant experience. But it's still a bit going around the other way, and people are going to be like, "Oh, there's masters in AI." So it has both ways. So depending on what you need to do first, I would say that's how to go about choosing it.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah, definitely. I'll agree to what Lohavani said. Like knowing what you want to do is the most important thing. And if you choose a journalist, for me, I was not sure what I wanted to do, but I just wanted to get a job here. So I thought the safest thing will be computer science, because obviously if you choose computer science, I have topics related to data. I have topics related to AI, but I didn't choose it because I hate AI. It's very difficult for me. So choosing a generalized degree will keep options for you, and it'll helps you at least apply for jobs. It's not necessary that you'll get callbacks from that because you don't have any experience in it, but
mhm,
at least you have that thing that, oh, at least this field is open for me and I have some basic knowledge. I can build some projects in it and then kind of try to apply for those jobs. So generalized degrees help keep you open for multiple types of roles. Yeah.
mhm. Adit, do you have something to add to the same?
Yeah, sure. So, from my perspective, why I applied to computer science program was because I didn't want to like just get confined to one specific area. Like when I'm coming to a university abroad, I probably want to try different subjects because here some subjects might actually the professor might actually be good and like they might be doing cutting edge research. So like more than that, it was just also my own curiosity of learning something new and something different. So like I could choose a lot, or I could choose a boutique of programs. Like I could do like distributed computing. I could do some AI. Then I mentioned blockchain as well. So for me, it was
Mhm,
probably that. And again, like if you're doing so many different courses, it'll probably help you a bit when you're applying to job. You'll at least know what you're applying for. If you don't have any experience, that doesn't matter in a sense. But you at least know what you're applying for. So it might help you in like at least starting a line of work. Then you can, of course, you do projects on your own and like make a GitHub page or something and advertise that as well.
mhm, mhm. Great. Let's do one more question before we move on to the questions we take from the audience. So, what are some common misconceptions about MSc in computer science programs that you would like to, address? Could be positive, could be negative.
Misconceptions as in just related to the program or like related to the overall masters thing.
Everything, maybe about anything around, MSc in computer science programs that
Okay.
you think are more common or you
uh,
notice.
the one thing which I can think about right now is a lot of people think that getting a master's degree is important for job, but I feel here it's more important. I mean, the people here look at the profile more than the degree. So a degree matters very little, but if you have some demonstrable work experience, not work experience but skills, let's say demonstrable skills in that field, then it's
Mhm,
easier to apply for and get callbacks for jobs.
mhm,
But just having a degree won't be that useful. So that is one
mhm,
important thing which people think that, oh, I'm doing a master's in data science, so I should probably get callbacks for it. But if you have a background experience of 2 years in a developer experience, then
mhm,
you might get more callbacks for a developer role rather than a data science role, because you just have one degree in data science but you have 2 years of experience in developer. So
Mhm.
look at your profile, not just about the degree, but how does your profile look for the job. Like if you have a strong profile in data, then apply for data. But if you're just a degree in data and experience in something other, then you probably have a stronger chance of getting a job in that
Mhm.
domain rather than the degree domain.
I think Siddharth made a very valid point. Like, that's kind of what I'm facing myself. Like I said, I already have some software engineer experience and I wanted to shift to data. But unfortunately, people see that software engineer experience and they come to me asking for software roles. Even though I would have applied for a data role at a company, they still come and ask me, but I think your profile suits more for software. Can you please come and work for software division? I'm like, that is not what I applied for. But I would say it's like, it is hard definitely to switch roles like that. But the only thing that you can do if you want to do that is, you have to be like, try to get some internships if possible, and like relating to data, or maybe have an active work experience, or depends on how you project yourself to the recruiter basically.
Mhm.
But of course the software engineering background is always gonna like peep up from the background and say
Mhm.
so. But there are some people who I know who have successfully crossed over roles also. So
Mhm.
if you are like very focused, let's say you are sure you want to become a data scientist, also I would say that if, aiming directly for the big roles is definitely hard, not hard. They expect you like, let's say data science means you should either they expect you to have worked as a data scientist, or they expect you to have some relevant experience to data. So I would say if you cannot exactly get the role that you want, you'll have to try to look for roles that are related to it, so that in the future, using that experience, you can go to ultimately what you wanted to do. So if I mean the course that you select should also help you in that way. So even though I do not have a data science focused course, if I want to do choose on data science, it is up to me, because I did have modules related to that. So if I can say like I'm trying to do projects related to that, I have done some projects related to that, and I put the focus on data on my work, on my profile, that might work out as well. So that is where the course helps. So I would say like, try to choose and select wisely, but you always have, if you're not sure, that's why you don't go with the specialization, is what I would say. But yeah,
Mhm.
and it's sometimes a bit overhyped. Like, like what he said, if you do masters, you're gonna get a job and your pay scale is gonna be huge. That is a very common misconception. That's something which I think even we would have had before coming here. So they
Mhm.
only look at your skills and your experience most of the times. So
Mhm.
depending on that is what you get, the package, and everything else comes later. So
Yeah. So I think one's intention should be to better their skills or gain more skills by doing a master's, and not doing a master's to get a better job. Like
yeah,
ideally, that's
it,
what you
it,
need.
it ultimately helps, but yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You should
Yeah.
not think that just doing the masters will help you get the job. That's the thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And you shouldn't think that like, you are gonna get placed in a senior role just because you have masters. No, that's not how it works here, unfortunately. So it's,
Yeah.
let's say if there's someone who's done bachelor's but they have more relevant experience, they're gonna get the higher one. So that's how it
Yeah.
works here.
Conversely, I'm sorry, I just wanted to add this.
Yeah,
As an international student, it's actually tougher to get a job rather
true,
than
very
a
much.
local student. So you think that you have a degree, but you're actually starting from a step back rather than your peers from the UK, or who have
Exactly.
a valid work visa, let's say.
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
have kind of an uphill battle to climb, I think.
I think Adit wanted to add a little to it.
Yeah, so I mean, like when you come from a Indian background, you like when you're in Indian universities, you are usually told to like study a lot and do very well in your degrees and like focus on improving your CGPA. And like when I came here, that wasn't really the focus, especially if you are not really interested in the academia aspect. Like if you don't want to do a PhD, you don't want to pursue that. Like if you're just looking for a job, it's probably better to like focus on your studies, but like don't really focus on like getting very high marks. Just study as much as you can, whatever you like to, and like focus on the job searching aspect more. Like do some personal projects, like start some networking, And unlike India, where you'll have like a lot of universities will have these placement cells which will help you coordinate, which will help you give interviews. You don't really have that system in the UK. In the UK, you will pretty much have to apply from day one. As soon as you come here, you have to apply online. You have to apply to all like websites like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and you just have to like keep sending applications and like hope for the best. And a lot of people who will come initially, especially people who don't really have experience like me, like when you apply even for any jobs, you will probably get a lot of rejections. But you must keep persisting, you must keep applying. Some people might call you eventually. So like you shouldn't really give up, and you need to like constantly apply, like have some job alerts ready, and like just focus on the job aspect instead of like just studying in the university.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, those were some really amazing insights. I think we are reaching very closely to the end of the panel discussion. We are running out of time. So let's pick out some questions from the audience chat. So, one of the questions that I find here is having a job experience absolutely necessary or recommended before doing or before deciding to do MS in computer science in the UK?
It will be helpful, but it's not necessarily mandatory. I mean, it's not mandatory. So if you've done any internships during the course of your college, or done
Mhm.
some good projects in the course of your college, done some research or published some papers, basically anything to add to your profile, that should also be strong enough.
Mhm, mhm. One more question we have is how to just a moment. Yeah, is it difficult to transition from the Indian education curriculum to the one in UK, one in the UK? I
Uh,
think all of you can add to this, like
okay.
very quick, crisp. Yeah.
I don't think so, because personally found that the some of the things that I learned back in my college really helped me here to study. But of
Mhm.
course, like he said, it's just the way you use that. Like, definitely I would say the studying pattern is pretty much the same, but the way you apply it is where it differs.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. And Indian education system, I mean, not just the subjects, but overall education system as whole. Like, let's say back in my university, for I'll just give a small example. For 8 marks question, we are supposed to write 1.5 page answer.
Mhm.
Here we have questions for 12 marks, 15 marks, 20 marks, and we just have to write, maximum 2 to 3 paragraphs.
Mhm.
Because here they value the content more than the length of it.
Mhm.
So back in India, for 100 marks exam, we have to write like a 3 hour paper. Here we have
Mhm.
just 1.5 or 2 hours paper for 100 marks. So time management is really necessary here for exams. And also a common misconception about exams is people think there are no exams here, all are courseworks and you just submit your coursework and it's done. But it
Mhm.
actually really depends on your module. So I had 3 modules and I had 6 courseworks and then 3 exams. So each module had 2 courseworks and each module had an exam. This
Mhm.
time too, I have like 4 modules, 8 courseworks and 4 exams. So it really depends on your module and your program, how that uh, you know uh, division is there between courseworks and exams and modules.
Mhm.
But it's really not that difficult. If you studied well in India, then you'll get you'll get decent marks.
Mhm.
At least you'll not get good grades because they don't give marks here, but you'll at least get
Very true,
decent
very
grades.
true.
Yeah.
It's like, and also people here don't really like give importance to the marks. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, in India, people would be like, if you had an arrear in a subject, they're gonna make a big issue out of it. But here, it's like chill pill. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
You
even
can
if
be like great at AI and suck at software engineering. That's why you fail in software. Nobody's gonna give anything.
yeah.
And I don't think even when you're going for jobs, that I don't think they're gonna see
Yeah,
that, oh, you
actually,
failed in
I was
this
going to tell the
subject.
same thing. Like, you can get a job even if you fail in your one of the subjects.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect your. And you should at least pass at the end of your program.
Masters, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
also like,
only thing they like.
yeah.
And that also, I don't think people here do that, because there is an option like, if you do not get enough credits, you can always convert your degree to a diploma and stuff, which
Oh,
Mhm.
UK people do not have to worry about. But since we are international students who come with a loan, we cannot do that. We have
yeah,
to pass it
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. So even if you fail, you have like a one reset for the exam, and if you clear it, it won't affect your job
Yeah,
prospects in
they
India.
give a
Mhm.
chance to reset
Yeah,
and before your
yeah.
graduation and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We have another question. Maybe Adit can take this up, or anybody else who wants
Yeah,
to.
sure.
What are the differences between a taught master's program and a research master's program?
So a taught master program would be very similar to what we have in India, which is basically lots of modules, lots of lectures, your assignments and exams. Uh, and they will basically the structure of a taught masters is usually 2 semesters or 3 semesters of your study, and then 1 semester where you write a dissertation on anything you want to, or like you do with the supervisor. And but when you're doing a research masters, it's flipped. So like it probably differs from university to university, but in Edinburgh at least what happens is that in your first semester you have lectures, you have lots of lectures, and from your second semester onwards you just start doing research. So you'll work with groups, you'll work on different projects, you'll like publish papers. So even in your second semester you'll be working on the research aspect, and of course even in like your dissertation period you'll be working on a research, like on your own personal dissertation. So I guess that's pretty much the difference. And if you want to do PhD, I would highly recommend doing a research masters instead of taught masters, because you'll be much closer with your supervisor when you're doing a research masters, and you can probably network more easily in academia if you're interested in that.
Mhm. That's great. Thank you for the answer. So I think we can take one last question from the audience because it's already 5:48. Anybody who has more expertise can answer this question. Are there any specific programs or institutions that are known for excellence in gaming and robotics?
From what I've read while coming here was North, so Edinburgh or like overall North is like a gaming industry of the UK. So there are a lot of game-related industries, companies there. So I assume that universities there will have at least some modules related to gaming. But I think Adit will be the best person.
Yes, I can agree to that. So, I mean, Edinburgh is known for, especially, I have not heard much about gaming as well, but Edinburgh is very well known for its robotics division. And, like, even when I was doing computer science, there were a lot of robotics modules which you can take. So, like, if you want to do robotics, you can probably come to Edinburgh. You will have a lot of options here.
Mhm. Great,
And
great. Thanks.
I just
Mhm.
wanted to add for this. Even I was interested in gaming, and while coming here, there was University of Nottingham, I think, and it had a game development model, which was pretty interesting. I didn't apply for that university, but if you were interested, you can check out that university, that model. That was pretty interesting.
Mhm. Great, great, everyone. Thank you so much for all these amazing answers. So before we wind up, I think all of you can give our viewers a bonus, go-to tip when it comes to choosing the right program or selecting the right program for themselves. Under a computer science masters in the UK.
I would say ultimately do what you want because later you
Mhm.
should not regret it.
Mhm.
Whatever you choose, like maybe you would have to admit you'll be hard to pick from it. Go with the one that you want to do ultimately. That's it.
Yeah, take the leap of faith and just believe,
Leap of faith.
believe with your faith.
Follow your heart. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
all of that sounds very fancy, especially before taking that, but now I kind of understand what that means. So, like,
Yeah.
see where you want to be after the masters so
Hmm.
that you can decide what you want to do in the masters.
Um, I think others can also add like one
Yeah,
bonus
so
tip to all panelists.
I would say like just know what you're doing. Like don't be familiar with the course. Like research very clearly what you are doing, what you are going to expect. And I mean, sometimes you won't be able to control things on your own, but at least know something about the place where you're going to. Like do something. Like just don't go in blind.
Great. So, thank you for the three of you, for making some time out of your busy schedule and, spending your time here trying to educate our audience. And you all have given such amazing and insightful answers. And everybody who attended the session got to learn so much. And, when the advices come from personal experiences and research, personal experiences backed by research, it's always tenfold better. So I'm pretty sure everybody enjoyed the session. At least I personally loved interacting with the three of you. And once again, thank you very, very much for joining with me today. And all the attendees, thank you so much for being such great audience today. And the questions of yours that haven't been answered because of the shortage of time will be available as quests on nebula.com, and they will be answered by your mentors or experts, etc. So maybe give it a day or two, come back and check the answers for your questions. So you will find answers for all the questions you have put in the chat box of not only this panel discussion, of all the talks that you might have attended. And once again, thank you all of you for joining with me today. If you all have any closing remarks, please go ahead.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and it's good. Like I think I'd never had this kind of a talk where I had like a honest, open conversation with people in the UK before coming here. So I think this might help students a lot. So thanks
Yeah,
for
definitely.
inviting.
Yeah,
What Lohavani
thanks a
said
lot.
before coming here, connecting people on LinkedIn is very difficult, but this platform will help people actually interact with valid or verified students and alumni. So this will definitely be helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So if you all have any more questions for the same speakers or the speakers you encountered at any talk of today's sessions or tomorrow's sessions, you can always connect with them on nebula.com. And if they have listed their services there, or one-on-one talks, personal guidance sessions, mentoring sessions, they will all appear under their names. So I suggest you all, before I end the session, please go send them a connection request, check their profile out, or otherwise also go search for the topic you're looking for, and under that you will find all the talks, panel discussions, guidance sessions, etc., that are listed under under that topic. So make sure you go and access them, and I will see you all tomorrow again. And all the panelists, thank you once again for joining with me today. It was lovely having you all.